What's up guys, welcome back to Michael's Tech Talk, and today I am going to bring you my review of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 2. So, let's get into it. So, Galaxy Fold 2, let's get into it. So this one here is the Mystic Black 256 gig model. Specs are as follows. So the external display is a 6.2 AMOLED display, and it's a 60Hz display. It's quite long, you know, when it's folded over, so it's yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. The internal display is a 7.6 inch 120Hz display, which is also AMOLED as well. So it's a fantastic screen on this device. On the inside, outside is fine, 60Hz. To be honest, for doing little bits and pieces of browsing and things like that, it's great. But inside is where the magic happens. So, yeah. So there's a front-facing camera in the front panel screen and a front-facing camera on the inside as well. Both of these are a 10 megapixel camera. And then on the back we have a triple lens setup, and the triple lens setup on these cameras is they're both 12 megapixel. There's a telephoto lens and an ultra wide lens as well. So all in all, camera's pretty decent on it too. Strangely, processor wise, it's very rare to get Snapdragon here in the UK. So the fact that this this phone has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor is very, very good. It's quack. That's quack, mate. It's quick, it's snappy, and it performs very, very well. 12 gig of RAM as well, and like I said before, 256 gig of storage. There is no expandable card slot, no headphone jack. I'm sure there's somebody out there still upset about no headphone jack. Yeah, USB-C connectivity, wireless charging as well. So, and also reverse wireless charging, so you can reverse wireless charge another device, which is a great wee feature. 4500 milliamp battery as well, so it is no slouch when it comes to battery performance either. Weighing in at 282 grams. It's not obscenely heavy, but it's noticeable once in your pocket. You definitely wouldn't forget that you're carrying this thing in your pocket. It's 6mm wide when it's open, which compared to a lot of flagship phones today is in about the sort of dimensions. It's a massive 16.8mm when it's folded, and you notice that when it's folded up inside your pocket. I'll tell you that for sure. Good points. This is an awesome looking device. There's no ifs, ways or buts about it. It is cool looking. I mean, even when it's closed, it's a slim device. It fits well in the hand. So the inside display is 120Hz refresh rate, and again, having used phones with 120Hz refresh rate, this phone is by no means a disappointment. The screen is snappy. It is the colours and the sharpness of it is phenomenal. Even just watching some videos and things like that on it, it's crisp, it's sharp, and it's exactly what you need it to be. So yeah, there's no faults there with that at all. Like I said before, 25 watt wireless charging with the option for reverse wireless charging. So if you have a pair of wireless headphones that charge using Qi, you can pop them on there. Or if you're out with a friend and the friend's got a phone, battery's a wee bit low, here mate, I'll charge that for you. Bosh. There you go. And you can give them a little bit of your juice, if you're nice to go. As expected, with the display folded up, multitasking on this is fantastic. I've been using this now for just over a couple of weeks, and using 3 apps simultaneously on the go at one time is a great thing. It's something that I never knew that I really wanted until I used it, and now it's like, I kind of need it every day. So yeah, multitasking on this is phenomenal. Just simply because you've got that real estate, you know, to do that. One of the features I love about this phone is flex mode. Flex mode is great on this for watching videos on the likes of YouTube. You can have the video playing on the top screen and you can have the comment section on the bottom part. I really like that. When you're using the camera as well, you can sort of use it as a unofficial tripod and have it set up and have your camera controls on the bottom screen and have your camera on the top screen. Really, really cool feature, and I really like that. And I think one of the best party pieces for this phone is selfie mode. So open up your camera on the front screen and up in the top corner, hit selfie. It'll tell you to open the phone, and you open up the phone and there you go. And you can use the front screen and then you can take your selfie with the rear camera. Unbelievable. And you can use the telephoto lens, the ultra wide lens, and you can take a really, really good selfie. Fantastic. I must say that's one of the best features of this phone. Bad points, yeah, there's some bad points. When folded, this thing is obscenely thick in your pocket. Now I use an iPhone Pro Max. It's a thick phone, but this thing is next level when it's in your pocket. Next level. It's very obscene, and you know it's there. Yeah, that's a wee bit annoying for me. Not a deal breaker, but it's a bit annoying. The crease is quite noticeable at first when you go to use it, but I found it was noticeable because I was looking for it. Whereas after you start using it, you genuinely do forget it's there. Unless you're doing a lot of stuff on a white background, to be quite honest, you don't really notice that it's there. So again, it's not something that's a game changer, but it can be something when you first get this phone that you might find it a little bit annoying. 21:9 movies on the full display can have a bit of boxing on them, depending on what app you're using, obviously. Because this is a completely unique screen resolution, sometimes your things just don't fit the screen the way they should do. That can be a bit frustrating, especially if you're watching a widescreen film and you have a lot of boxing in around the video. If you like your videos to be full screen, it could be a bit of a bummer for you. The front display. Now, to be quite honest, I'm not going to say 60 Hz is a big issue for me because I use an iPhone and that's what I have. So 60 Hz isn't really a deal breaker for me on a phone screen. While the 120 Hz on the inside is fantastic, 60 Hz doesn't really bother me. What does bother me is the size of this screen. Because the screen is quite narrow, if I'm looking at social media or if I get a message and I don't want to open up the phone, I want to try and reply. Personally, for me, I have found myself getting frustrated trying to reply back to a text message or an email, simply because the keyboard's too small on this screen, and that's because the screen's too small. Now, granted, the issue may be my big sausage fingers, but I do have to find myself quite a bit if I'm replying to a message or if I'm posting a comment or replying to an email. I have to open it up, and then I am typing away on a full-size keyboard, which is fine, but I have struggled a wee bit with this, and some people might find that a deal breaker. But if I'm being truthfully honest, I don't really find myself using the front screen all that much. If I'm being truthfully honest, I always do sit and have it open. So personally for me, I use a lot of video apps. I use a lot of YouTube and likes of Netflix and Plex and that sort of thing. But I also use remote desktop quite a bit, and remote desktop on this phone when the display's open, I find is really, really good. It's not quite a tablet, but it's bigger than a phone, and I thought it was really good. And last but not least, I feel like there's still a lack of app support for this phone, especially when it comes to the display when it's open. The likes of Instagram especially still does not look like it's optimized properly for the phone. You open it up in the middle of this great open display, and Instagram's plunked right in the middle of it with these blank bars down the side. I just don't feel there's a lot of apps that are fully optimized for the folding screen, and it's been out for, this is the second generation, and this has been out for nearly a year. So I find that a wee bit frustrating. You know, some of the apps just still aren't quite there yet in terms of they're just not optimized for it. Now, is that a case of foldables just aren't mainstream enough yet? Who knows? I honestly don't know, but I just don't feel there's a lot of apps. A lot of apps I've looked at and went, well, this is what we're doing our apps at, and that's take it or leave it. You know, so I sort of feel that's the way it is with this. So my final thoughts on this: while this phone is a great looking device and has flagship specs, which cannot be debated, it's got the CPU, it's got the cameras, it's got the display, it has all those things for a flagship. For me, there's something missing that would make me want to have this as a day-to-day daily driver phone. And for me, the issue with that is I don't think the foldable concept works that well on a phone, if I'm being truthfully honest. Now, I think the concept of foldable technology is better suited to a tablet. So if you could imagine the likes of an iPad Pro or the likes of the Galaxy Tab S7, really powerful devices that can easily replace a computer in terms of specifications and power and that sort of thing. Imagine you could fold them in half. Imagine you could be out on a job doing something and you could have it folded over and you could be working on something, and then you need to do something a bit bigger, open it up, and there you go, you've got a full display. Personally, I would dig that, and I would prefer that rather than a foldable phone. So those are my thoughts, guys. What do you think on this device down below? Have you got one? If you do, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts, and keep it locked to the channel. I'm going to have a tech tips video for this phone, so I'm going to give you 5 tips on features for this phone specifically, so keep an eye for that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks, guys.